Overall Setting Podcast. Overall Settings. You know you are the leader now. You're taking over with speed now. Overall Settings. Yes, you're on the go. Everybody want to watch your show. You're watching Overall Settings Podcast. Boom, Overall Settings.
I'm feeling this aura. Yeah, that's the deal in this
live on Overall Setting.
You're the vice and to the world, ambassador to the universe, and we are representing Overall Setting.
Splash the artist, singer Splash. Yeah, man. Overall Setting.
Yo, big respects to original Don Roger, Apache Indian in the place. Catch me on Overall Setting.
This is Shining. I found out. So here what? As pertain to the overall setting. And for the main devices, you know, say a Protestant from where you don't straight out. I'm watching the pips and represent the overall setting.
Hey yo, check this out. This is Anthony Cruz live and direct, and I'm here to tell you about the Don North overall setting scene.
This is Silver Cat, aka Iron Claw, and I will be on the overall podcast setting.
Come and see the face and hear the voice, them know say Rasta British, the true leader. I'll be featured live on overall settings podcast.
Bonjour tout le monde. You know it's me, your girl Joe, now representing with the Overall Settings Podcast Show.
Hey, don't know fearless wonder. I'm here represent the overall setting. Catch the live on overall. This is J right now, and you can check me out live on overall podcast. No gonna make them night. What put me that Salaman and Tigana overall? Me coming some tea. Bad boy fire everything. Police man a fire AK-47, but soldier man, them a fire SLR.
Yep. We welcome you to another episode of Overall Settings, the podcast that differs, where we always try to bring you the artists of yesteryear. You don't know the pioneer, the man who chop the bush for the people them were there and know. You know what I mean? The icons of today. But we pride ourselves on always bringing to the forefront the future icons of tomorrow, because the reality of this music thing is that you never really know where the hits is coming from. You don't know the diamonds in the rough. You will pass somebody by, overlook the person, and then when somebody else notice them talent, or when them rise out and spread them wings and start to do great, that's when everybody want to take credit. Oh, are you that, you know? Oh, a girl that, you know, we respond here, and you know. So we try to give credit where credit is due before, you know, everybody else. You know what I mean? So we'll be that podcast or that interview that everybody comes back looking for when all of these future icons' names are in lights. You know, tonight is no different, as we welcome a very talented Empress to the platform. I mean, I hear our music, and trust me, it puts me in the mind of some of the seasoned greats. You know what I mean? You know, the Sister Nancy's of the world, and the Marcia Griffiths, and the, you know, the modern day Tanya Stevens, and you know what I mean, like she has a flavor that, you know, it definitely it's very soothing to the ear. You know what I mean? You know, music is a thing. It's a universal language, and it spoke to me upon hearing it on the first time. You know what I say? So, you know, I'm eager to talk to her, as I am, you know, whenever we welcome these artists over to the platform, because like me say, we can see the potential in them from early. You know what I mean? So I guess we were a pioneer of sorts ourselves, you know. So, you know, fasten your seatbelts, you know, as we talk to this young lady, you know, by the name of Abiona. And I'm gonna drop one or two of our songs, you know, before we actually bring her in on the platform and just all a little vibes. You know what I say? Yeah, because I just, you don't know, sir, so we do our thing, you know. You know what I mean? We have to give you a full understanding of who's coming over here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, like I said, if you're on this live right now, I want you to fasten your seatbelts. Welcome this young lady. But me go drop one of our bad song them right now. This one is called Love You Boo. Always, you know the man them always want to hear the woman them say that, you know. The man them always want to hear when the woman them profess them love for you. You know what I say? Yeah. So this one is called Love You Boo.
And I can't forget those times that we spent together.
Yeah. All right. Love you, boo.
I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied.
Okay.
Once and I can't forget those times that we spent together. Cause I can still feel those bruises from your touches. Oh, me say me love you, boo. Me know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. One the love that I have for you is genuine and I
Yo, we have to pull up a tune now. We have to pull up a tune now. Tune bad. Bad.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah, but the gang. Okay. Well,
and I can't forget those times that we spent together. Cause I can still feel those bruises from your touches. Oh, me say me love you, boo. Me know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. One the love that I have for you is genuine and I can't deny. Me say me love you, boo. Me know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. Me never know so them a love us like this. Yeah, baby, have to give them a ratings. Cause a genuine love, that's what you show me from the first time we're dating. To see the 2+ on the bed and it drive me nuts. Hey, say it, I'ma shut me head. Thinking what you would be doing, I said if you were.
yeah, well on. No. Just me. No, but yeah, no, but I forgot to start about that song again. And you know, so you have to good to get 3 pull up, you know. You have to great to get 3 pull up, trust me. And that I must about number 3 or number. If you're up on the library right now, share the library. That song is bad. I love you, boo. Love you, boo. Abiona.
I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. Once and I can't forget those times that we spent together. Cause I can still feel those bruises from your touches. Oh, me say me love you, boo. Me know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. One the love that I have for you is genuine and I can't deny. Me say me love you, boo. Me know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. Me never know so them a love us like this. Yeah, baby, have to give them a ratings. Cause a genuine love, that's what you show me from the first time we're dating. To see the 2+ on the bed and it drive me nuts. Hey, say it, I'ma shut me head. Thinking what you would be doing, I said if you were here. I can't forget those times that we spent together. Cause I can still feel those bruises from your touches. Oh, me say me love you, boo, me know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. What the love that I have for you is genuine and I can't deny. Me say me love you, boo, me know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. You want the love in my life, you bring me joy. You make me shine so bright, and all through the cloudy tide. And after doing my chores, you massage my feet before I go to sleep. You rise me up to the ocean morning, evening. I'm so devoted to that spiritual feelings. I can't forget those times that we spent together. Cause I can still feel those bruises from your touches. When we say I love you, boom, and know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. What the love that I have for you is genuine and I can't deny. Me say I love you, boom, and know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. Money can't buy the love that we share. And even when you're a million miles away, I still can feel your near. The money can't buy the love that we share.
Yeah.
And even when you're a million miles away, I still can feel your near. I can't forget those times that we spent together. Cause I can still feel those bruises from your touches. Woman, say I love you, woman, know you love me too. My heart is satisfied. What the love that I have for you is genuine and I can't deny.
You know that, yo, me I tell you, that one out there. It's like, yo, me there I want to vibe, me there I want to real vibes. If you don't can see me like me just a last, I was actually having a moment. So one of just love me and make me have a moment. I mean, when I hear music and it speaks to the heart and it stimulates your mind and allow me, no man. Sure. Anyway, we have our next bad song where we are going to play, but the artist is here. We want to introduce the artist to the platform. We're going to talk about our journey, and then we drop the next song in the midst of the actual interview. As I was saying, big up everybody, all of the early people and we're on the live right now. If you're on the live right now, please share the live. It doesn't cost a thing to share the live. You know what I mean? It doesn't cost a thing to go over to the channel and subscribe. And, she's going to tell you where you can find her music and where you can find her on social media as well. So this is one of these artists to watch. Remember, I told you guys. And, normally when I talk, my word is always my ban, but it's always gold. So big up one mermaid whirling at the building. You already know the shape. So without further ado, we welcome to the platform with a very warm overall settings welcome. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. I'm saying Abiona. It could be Abiona, but she's gonna let us know when she forwards to the platform. She will correct me. Hope she not cuss me because a whole heap of people slaughter my name too. Because she called me Freako a while ago, and me actually named Freako. Let me big up on yourself. So anyway, without further ado, we welcome this lovely empress to the platform, Miss Abiona. Wagwan Mama, how are you? How are you?
Give thanks. How you doing?
Listen, I'm always enamored and elated to be among talent, and
Right.
it's even though it's my platform, a lot of times when you guys come over here, I feel like I'm in your presence opposed to you being in my presence. You know what I mean? So although I'm welcoming you to the platform, I'm thanking you for you allowing us to spend this time with you because time is something that you can give to somebody but you can never get back. So we really appreciate the fact that you take the time out to come over here and hold our realms with me.
Right.
You know what I
Give
mean?
thanks for that as well. I'm grateful for life as well. Every day above hurt is definitely a blessing. So
Exactly.
as for that, I always celebrate life.
Exactly. So, I mean, first and foremost, tell the people the correct pronunciation of your name. I don't know if I was saying it correctly.
Yes, you was. Actually, my name is Abiona.
Okay, all right. So I was on point. All right.
Yes, you
So
was.
once again, since we're on the platform now, we're gonna formally introduce ourselves, even though we did it off the ear, but them say you have to lead by example, though. You know what I mean? And we need more love in the world. So at the end of the day, I am Fico Settings. Welcome to the platform, Impress Abiona, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Give thanks. Give thanks, Freako Settings. It's a blessing for me as well to be sharing, celebrating this platform with you as well. I
All right.
appreciate of it, and I'm grateful.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for all the people that tune in on the live as well. Your
Yeah, man.
present is well
Ex-
accepted.
exactly. So, I mean, you have such an amazing voice.
Thanks a lot.
Your writing ability is impeccable. You know what I mean? I listen to songs with a little bias because I've been an artist for the past 30 years, so I'm not like your traditional who a star, somebody who just researches music. I am music as are you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I listen to artists with a little prejudice, like, all right, let me see if she gonna drop the catch this or let me see if she could have do something different this or she kinda and I to be totally honest with you, I haven't heard any, I haven't seen any kinks in your armor. I haven't seen any kind of weaknesses whatsoever. So I mean that brings me to the question of how long have you been doing this? At what point as early as you can remember, did you discover this immense talent that you have?
I've been doing music from a young age, growing up with my dad because my dad used to have this sound system,
Mm-hmm.
and my sisters and my brothers was the one who always be putting the sound system together while I'm waiting with the microphone in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that in my home growing up as a child. I was like the fun for the home,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the actor and all of that for the home. So I've been doing that from a kid, but professionally, I started doing it like 10 years ago.
Okay. So when you say sound system, a lot of people would equate that to, Jamaica and Jamaica's culture. Are you originally from Jamaica, or is there a Jamaican background there, or that part?
Yes, I'm a Jamaican. I'm
Okay,
a Jamaican.
okay. So the sound system, which community do you hear from in Jamaica?
I was born in Port Antonio, but I've been around. But when I'm talking about sound system, that was when we used to live in Montego Bay.
Okay, cool. So I mean, there was a lot of sounds in Montego Bay. One of them in particular was Pieces. I know that there was also Electroforce, and there's a couple
Right.
sounds that hail from that area. Was your father sound like more of a community sound, or did it play out, like, was it well known in the area or other part
No,
of
it
it?
was actually like a community sound.
Okay. But him look a regular dance and him thing down the people him.
Definitely, every day is a party for my daddy.
Okay. Right, all right. So what is sounded name?
It's named Mac Night Power because his name is Mac Night, so he gave the song name Mac Night Power.
All right then, I mean that talk about. so so out of all of the siblings, you were the only one who gravitated to the music, and because I mean I noticed you said you were the actress in the house,
Yeah,
and
like professionally, yes, but growing up, it was me and my brother who always do the music, but
mhm.
he don't take it on a professional levels.
Okay. So if you say, I don't know how long ago you migrated, but you said you started your career around 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
would,
professional.
would this be in America, or were you still in Jamaica when you
That was in Jamaica.
okay. So how did you venture into the professional aspect of it? I mean, you spent many years honing your craft, and I guess you were doing music between Dad's Sound, and you had you
Yeah,
obviously
yeah, yeah.
you obviously had to catch the attention of somebody to take it to the next level. So, like, what was that
That's it. Actually, I was doing it from my dad's son till growing up till I start doing it now. Like at my home, like every day at my home, I was living like at the roadside. So every day at my home, I always be singing and DJing at my home, and people always be passing and seeing me and saying, "Oh, you sound so much like Tanya Stevens, so you should." And then one day, two guys was passing, heading to a studio, and they heard me singing, and they stopped by and they said, "Hey, Tanya Stevens live over that yard?" And they said, "No, I am from over there. She sing every day." And they stopped by and they came by and they asked me if they can bring me to the studio and all of that. I agreed with them to go to the studio. They came back and got me there the following day, and that's when I started. Like I started there doing dub plates. It's so funny. The first time I went to the studio, I did dub plate. I started my career by doing dub plates.
Wow. And most of us in the Caribbean community, that's how we kind of got our start.
Yeah.
And even in America, they're not necessarily called dub plates, but they have a thing that they call white label. You know what I mean? So it's basically not released to the public, but a few personal DJs.
Right,
get it.
right,
Yeah,
right, right. Calling
yeah.
up names and all of that.
Right. So it's kind of
It is for the
it's
sound man.
kind of the same concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at that particular time, so is Abiona your birth name, or were you using another name at that particular time?
No, my birth name is Charlotte McKnight,
Okay. All
but
right.
I was using Charlotte McKnight. I was using Iwarius.
Okay.
Right.
So even I'm saying, all right. So from the time when these guys discovered you, so when you started out on Daddy's Song, like obviously you were who you were born as, you know what I mean, because you were such a little girl
Yeah.
or whatever. So at what point did you take on, the name? Was that after you actually started recording professionally, or how did the first name come about? And then,
Before the first name came up, I started doing it now, being a Rastafarian now.
mm-hmm,
I was still singing, not doing it professional. So then everybody would call me Empress.
mm-hmm,
So then first I was named Empress. Then I said to myself, too much people named Empress. I want something solider than that.
right,
So
right.
then I grew away from that. I went to a studio one day and the engineer was saying that, "Oh, she has such a fire." And he said to me, "What is your name?" And I told him Empress, and him said, "No, you want more than that." And I said, "I know." He said, "I'm gonna call you High Warriors from today."
Wow, wow.
And I took on to that name for a minute. I took it for a minute, then I let it go. Yeah.
So then, what? How did you come by Abiona?
So then after leaving Montego Bay, I went to St. Thomas.
Okay.
Then I went to another studio and the engineer heard me. The studio is East House. And the engineer name is Mello. I'll never forget him. He's in England right now too. Bless up yourself, Mello. Maybe he's on the live too. Anyways, and he said to me, "You're too humble and calm to name High Warriors. You need a soft, soothing name like a flowers." He said he want to give me a flowers name. And I said, "That sounds good." And both of us were searching for the name. We went and we Googled the names, we get a lot of different names, and all of them came up, it was like nope. Then when he came up with one and he said Abiona, and I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Yes, I'm feeling it too." And from that day, my name is Abiona. And trust me, when I researched the meaning of that name, it's just me.
It becomes you. I mean, when
Yeah,
I see you, like, I we've only been talking for every bit of like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and I get, like, if you were to tell me that you were someone else, if you were to say a different name, outside of the name that you were
right.
introduced, it probably wouldn't, it wouldn't fit. Like Abiona, I don't know how you guys came, by like choosing that name, because I'm pretty sure you look for whole heap a different name. You know what I mean? I don't know
You
what.
said it.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? It was like, right, that's all. Yeah, man. Right, that's all. Right, that's all.
Yeah.
So, who were some of your earlier influences within the music? And we are going to touch upon the Tanya Stevens thing, but I mean, I don't know if she was one of your influences, but I mean, it's clearly evident that when I listened to the song, that was one of the reasons why I pull it up, because I'm like, whoa, lad. Like, no, this is like uncanny. Like, if somebody would have literally gave me the song, and they didn't have a name attached to it, I probably would have lost my money if them say, yo, who this? It have been, we probably would have said
Trust
a
me, I
Tennessee.
definitely understand.
Mm. So I mean, who were some of the people that influence you? Because I mean, you notice I called a couple names earlier in the show.
Right.
I don't know
I,
if they're suiting to you. You know what I mean? All of them are iconic figures, but that's what I get when I listen to you.
right. But then when I start listening to music like on a deep levels is when my dad used to play mostly like Bob Marley's. He used to play a lot of Bob Marley's, a lot of different tracks, but I wasn't like into it that much growing up. I would Papa Levi, I would catch some of the song them, some of Papa Levi songs them too. And back then, but when I start loving music like more deeper now, it's like everyone around me was music.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone around me was music. So it's not even like I was listening to a lot of music that was playing on the air. I
Mm-hmm.
was mostly listening to the artists that was singing around me.
Mm-hmm.
So then while listening to the artists that was singing around me, all the artists is them that was singing around me. Then one of the artists said to me, he always called me whenever time they're singing, he would say to me that, sing something.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't know no song.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no matter what, just sing something. I
Mm-hmm.
just like hear your voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I always sing something. Then he turned to me and he said to me, you need to go buy a Tanya Stevenson album
Mm-hmm.
and learn to sing Tanya Stevenson songs then.
Mm-hmm.
This the same evening that he said it to me, I left the house and I went to Savlamar and I got a Tanya Stevenson album.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start singing Tanya Stevenson songs them and I'm into Etana wasn't out yet,
Mm-hmm.
but then I would look for Marcia Griffiths too. I would look for lady song songs them as well. I used to look for mostly like female singer songs and I always look for like Dolly Platter as well too, because I always like Dolly Platter
Mm-hmm.
and Tony Braxton. So I
Mm-hmm.
always like check out most of those tracks. Then
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana becomes one of my icons too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Hure, a lot of them. Bob Marley, of course. Peter Touch too. Plus you got some young generation as well, just
Mm-hmm.
as myself coming up. So most of my life in the music is mostly around like artists listening to more like live artists singing and having fun.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I'm glad, because a lot of people usually attribute um their influences to like people of the past, you know what I mean? But for you to say that,
Right.
current artists also influence you, music overall is just something that you gravitate to, that you love, you know what I mean? So, that speaks volumes as well. So when you got to the studio, you say you actually started your career doing dub plate. So at that particular time, you obviously didn't have a song that the public was familiar with. So were you doing like original material for dub plates, or were you doing like cover songs? Like, how was that working out?
I was doing covers.
Okay. Okay.
I was doing covers. I
Okay.
did a lot of covers.
Okay.
I actually the 14 parishes I did covers for
Wow.
overseas. I
Wow.
used to be in studio doing like 10 dub plates a daytime,
Wow.
15 dub plates a daytime.
Wow.
Artists came from Kingston
Wow.
to take me to studio.
So
It
so
was like it was like a bomb rush.
so
Trust
so
me.
so what were some of your popular selections that the people them they want?
Say that again.
What were some of the popular selections? If you had to Tim the plate a day, like obviously you did have like a.
Oh,
Can remember, you know.
catalog.
Me no hear ya.
Yes, I had a catalog of songs that I used to do as dub plate.
So was there a favorite among like the people them where usually did want your service?
Yes. I can't forget they always want me to do Tanya Stevenson These Streets.
Ah, man,
And they always want me to do It's a Pity.
mad, 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 mad,
Yeah.
mad, mad, mad,
Yeah.
mad,
So most of the time I'm the one who always do them for them and they would come all over to find me to do them.
mad, 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 mad. So I mean, have you ever had the opportunity to meet Tanya, or did you get any pushback?
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I've never meet her like to talk to her in person, but I call her on the phone and we spoke on the phone once as well too.
Okay.
And whenever time go to her shows, when I went to her shows, it's like Tanya Stevens is a great performer.
Mm-hmm.
She can perform.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to the show, trust me, I don't even. It's not for me to sing the songs, and even when I know them, it's for me to look at her performing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm listening to the record, so I'm always like so deep into it
Mm-hmm.
as much that I can't even sing the songs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so other than that, I never met with her in person, like to
Mm-hmm.
communicate.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I noticed that you are a phenomenal writer as well. You know what I mean? So we don't want nobody misconstrue the thing and feel like say, yeah, you there living a Tana Stevens shadow and
No,
you know
I
what I mean?
want it.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So, when did you start to take notice of your own penmanship? Um, and what would you
Well,
say was the first original song that you personally recorded?
all right, the first track that I recorded, even though I was singing the Tanya Stevenson, I was still a writer.
Mm-hmm.
But even when I was writing, it's like I would just write without no beats.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm always writing. So the first track that I recorded, it was let me try to remember the first track that I recorded. It's been a minute.
I don't want to rackle your brain, You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah, yeah, it's
if
a
you
minute.
can,
It was.
mhm.
I can't remember the first one. Trust me, I can't remember it.
What is one of your most memorable ones from the early days?
From the early days. Okay, my memorable track from the early days. I'm just trying to come up with one of them.
Mm.
I got prayer for you, prayer for you. I get
Big
every
up.
time I think. I got every time I think.
All right, which one of them you remember? Which one of them you can give me a little piece of right now?
I can give prayer for you.
All right, give me a little piece of prayer for you, because we need the world. We need that. The world need that right now.
Mm, I say a prayer for you. And one for me. And for the whole universe. Yes, I'm blessed. You too. I say a prayer for you. And one for me. And for the whole universe. Yes, I'm blessed. You too. And
January.
every way I want to do in that. Oh, I'ma link up with Icali and that beat ya drop. Who give me the inspiration for the tune ya when me chat? Would it be possible if it was a fajaja? Recognize the blessing when it flow. In a most forward in a package like a dough. Life not gonna be 100% and I know. So what me do? I say a prayer for you. And one
Mother,
for me. And for the young in universe. Yes, I'm blessed. You too. I say a prayer for you. And one for me. And for the young in universe. Yes, I'm blessed. You too.
yo, body now, everyone, you body now. Big up, big up, big up,
Thank
big up official Juta Rhyme pan live right now because I him make it possible.
Oh, bless
You know
you,
what I
Joseph
mean?
Rhyme. Give
Yeah,
thanks
man.
to God.
Yeah, man. Big up Juta pan live right now. Movie star, what you call it there? Artist, songwriter, you know what I mean? Real general in the thing. Go and big up yourself, you know, my general. And you are the one who brought us the likes of this empress where trust me, she'll take the place by storm right now. Our voice not normal and our vibes not normal. You know? So the first song that you officially recorded that was actually released to the public, which label you device that pan?
That track was on Russ Iowa label.
Okay.
That's
And
that's a producer from Montego Bay.
okay, and it did come and road.
Yes, it did. But shortly after he put out the song, then he passed away.
But condolences,
Yeah.
condolences. Yeah. So I mean, what? So all right. So based upon with me, like you were accustomed to performing from a very tender age because you know daddy placed the microphone in your hand from a very early age. So you already kind of did have a concept of you know how to control a crowd and you know because you were the center, you were the primary focus of you know
Right.
that in your household. You know you went on to become a recording artist after capturing the attention of people in your community. You know, you ultimately vice for this producer who passed away. You know what I mean? So did you start to perform at some point? Were you performing on stage shows or you know, how did that come about? And you know, what do you think was probably one of the biggest shows that you performed on over the course of your career?
Oh, in Jamaica, I performed at Egg Show. That was a big show. You know, Egg Show is a big show.
Mm-hmm.
Down Trinidad, it's like a Ever Here show.
Mm.
In America now, a lot of a lot of stages, big
Mm.
stages. I performed in Manhattan. I perform all around
Mm.
in the
So
US.
that particular show in Jamaica, which you know you said is a very recognized, notable, reputable show.
Right.
How did you manage to you know find yourself on that show? Was it like an inside? Yeah, why you laugh? Why you laugh?
That show, actually, I went down to a studio. The studio name was Danger Zone.
Mm-hmm,
So I was downstairs with another female artist as well.
mm-hmm,
So while we was downstairs, she was singing.
Overall,
mm-hmm,
So she was singing. Then it was my time to sing.
mm-hmm,
So then when I started singing, I had a song that I was actually DJing.
mm-hmm.
And the guy came out and he heard me and he said, "Who is singing?" And another guy said, "She." And he said, "Your voice bad enough, come up here." When he called me, my heart started racing because I was still like, anyways, I went up there. And then when he opened the studio door and said, "I must come inside," I went inside. It's one of the biggest studio I've ever been to from then till now, Danger Zone.
Wow.
So Lady G was a part of that studio as well too.
Wow. Big up Lady G, one of the veteran them in our business.
Most definitely. Big up Lady G. Big up Lady, bless up Lady G all the time. She's my link too.
Mm.
Anyways, so I went upstairs. Lady G was upstairs as well too. So the studio guy said to me, you got a nice voice. You got the songs out? I said no. He said, I'm gonna play a beat and I want you to freestyle on the beat. I said, okay. He played the beat. I was writing a song. So the song that I was writing then, I started singing on the beat. He stopped the beat and he said, man, your voice bad. He said he told me to come back like the following day. Some days after, he said I must come back because they're gonna have a little show down there, put together thing. So I went down there. He took my name. So when he took my name, he said, listen, we have a big show coming up. Maka Diamond is on the show.
Wow.
And we need more female artists on the show. I'm gonna put you on the show. When he told me that he was gonna put me on the show, my heart started racing faster because I know that because I know that I'm like, put me on the show. I'm not even an artist like that. Anyways, a part of me was like, but then a part was happy to know that I'm being recognized.
Right.
Anyways, he wrote me down, he told me the time of the show and everything. It wasn't a band show, so there was no rehearsal for me to say, okay, I'm gonna practice and try to get more confidence and all of that with a band. So anyway, he told me the date for the show, where the show is gonna kept and all that. So I went home and I started playing my beats and I started to practice on my beats. But then even though I was practicing on the beats, I still need more confidence. So I was still feeling nervous and shaky inside because a part of me knew that I'm not ready because I've never been performed before in front of a crowd. But anyways, instead of my goal. The time came up for the show. My sisters came down to watch me perform. The more people said they coming to watch me perform, it get me more nervous because I'm like, I'm not even an artist. Like, plus they're gonna put me against Maka Diamond, Luki D, and all famous artists. I'm like, anyways, I'm there. Everybody happy and excited for me. Everybody excited for me more than who I'm excited for myself because within me,
them never know. So you afraid. Them excited for you and afraid you afraid.
They didn't know that I was scared. But anyways, while I was at the show, I was more enjoying to see my name on the posters more than to perform. So while I was at the show, every time I heard they call a name and it's not mine, I'd be like, good, they forget about me.
Trust me.
I was like, good, they forget about me. Then I heard they call a name again. I said, good. I was just happy that my name was on the paper, but I wanted them to forget about me because I was saying, I'm not ready. Then I stand up there, though, the next name. We call on stage, I Warriors. When they call my name, I got nervous again. And I'm like, Anyways, I went up on the stage. I don't even remember if I introduced myself. I just went up there and I took the mic. I got the mic and I know that I went straight into my thing. And I did my thing and everybody clapping and saying, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So were you performing original material or were you doing covers at that particular time?
I did covers and then I had one song that I know that I wrote and I got it locked down like that. So I said, okay, I'm gonna perform that song. So I performed that song totally good because I was on a spiritual levels as well. I'm still on a spiritual levels, but I was just rising up like Rastafarian. So you know, when you're just rising up as a Rastafarian, it's a kind of deep levels of rising up as a Rastafarian. So I had this song that I wrote and I used it to open the show, and the fans that came to watch me was knocking on the stage, but the more they knocked the stage, the more I got nervous.
You remember that song?
Yes.
Oh, that song that go.
And it's a cool and windy morning, I rise up to hold a firm meditation. And I was all clothed in white. I met with children from all tribes. They start telling me about their joy, and I started to cry. I say they're running from the jungle, looking for a place so peaceful and quiet, that's so free from war and strife. They're running from the jungle.
Mad. So was that like a cappella or was that over a rhythm?
No, actually, I did it a cappella because I didn't choose myself.
I was about to say that song doesn't require a rhythm.
Yeah.
If you come out, you might tell us you will bust any stage show if you run out with that.
Right.
So,
yes,
so even without you having confidence in yourself, that I'm for sure you say you did it on a spiritual journey as to what you said. You know what I mean? And before we even go no further, I noticed one thing that you said. You said back then, when you started to embrace Rastafarianism and embrace your spirit, your spirituality, right? When you embrace all of that, and you said even to this day when you're there, you still are.
That's supporting me.
Right.
That's who I am.
Right. So it's only right that we draw breaks for a second and address one song where you do when you're blessed. Give me a little backstory behind a song there real quick before me drop it.
Say that again.
Give me a little backstory behind Bless before me drop it.
Okay. Actually, I'm a CNA as well. I work in the healthcare field. So I was at work one day with one of my coworker, and I was working, and I was singing while I was working. And she said to me, she said, Abiona, you have a great voice. Because they didn't know that I was a singer. I was just working. But every now and then I would hum around. So I was singing, and she said to me, she said, Abiona, you have a great voice. I said, thanks. I said, I'm a singer. She said, you are? I said, yes, I am. So I said, I'm going to send you a few of my tracks. So I sent them over to her. She started listening them in her earphone. Same time, in about another half an hour, she said she was talking on the phone with somebody. And I heard she said, she's right here next to me. And I'd be like, okay. Then she said, somebody want to say hi to you. I said, okay. So I said, hey, how you doing? He said, I'm great. He said, you have a nice voice. I said, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. He said, you know that I have a beat going out and I'm in need of one female artist?
Mad.
I said, really? He said, yes. He said, and I like your voice. So his name is Kevin Hill.
Mad.
He's working with a lot of artists as well.
Mad.
So he sent me that track, and that's how I first got the track. And the moment I heard the track, that's what the track's saying to me. And whatever the track was working with me, and I just work with it. That's it.
I noticed a lot of artists say that from the seasoned artists to the young artists. Them say the rhythm basically is a navigation system, and
yes,
it tells you what to say.
What to say, because the rhythm is talking to you.
Exactly. So this rhythm told you to say that you're blessed.
And I know I'm blessed too.
All right then. And every day above ground is what?
It's a blessing.
A blessing.
Every day above earth is a blessing.
So this one from Empress Abiona, bless. Wanna check out that one now.
I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. So blessed.
Abiona. On the check out that one now.
Gratitude is a must.
Everybody with a parallel life that know we know say them blessed. Everybody with know say them blessed. Hear that one now.
Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed.
Talk to the floor, Abiona.
Fight for my blessing, oh yes, I'm blessed.
Hold on, me tell you no
Yes,
say,
I
yo,
know I'm blessed.
shift it.
Yes, I'm blessed.
I'm shifting the panel live, prospect the panel live. The one of my artist friend them the panel live. All of my artist friend them. Me don't know who I got to donate Juta the panel live. Me don't know who I got to donate one sound effect something, you know. Cause remember say me have to talk to all heap of people, you know. So me don't mind do the little sitting. Me don't mind do it, but if me still I got have to talk to the people, them have to preserve my voice. So I don't know who I got donate one little sound effect sitting give me, you know. Somebody out of the pack I got have to do. Remember, hold on, man. Anyway, remember, every day above ground is
It's a
blessing.
blessing. Gratitude is a must.
Bless. Tune bad. Bad.
I'm so blessed. So blessed. I'm so
Abiona.
Gratitude is a must. So bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm
Okay.
Fight for my blessing, oh yes, I'm blessed. Food on my table, oh yes, I'm blessed. To see a new day, you know I'm blessed. Thanks for my family, oh yes, I'm blessed. Blessing in a high and low places. I'm blessed for every stage. Blessed for this ride I find. Blessed for this peace of mind. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Blessing to Mother Earth, and it's a blessing to know what life worth. Despite of all the pain on the earth, I am blessing from birth. I put them up, me tell them I'm blessed, they're blessed. Rise up and stretch me, no depressed. I put them up, me tell them I'm blessed, they're blessed. Rise up and stretch me, no depressed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Blessing in abundance of love. Ask him if all I tell him I'm too blessed. Always arise, oh, I'm well blessed. Bless me. Tell him I'm too blessed. Always arise, Lord, or depressed. I tell them I'm too blessed. Tap up them look, I tell them I'm blessed, they're blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless, yes, I'm blessed. Bless.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yes,
For real. And
yes,
it's
I
this
know I'm
type
blessed.
of uplifting music that's needed in a time like now. I mean, with so much going on in the world, you know what I mean, this message should not be taken lightly. And trust me, Empress more you continue, bring them type of song to the forefront because at the end of the day, somebody are hear it and somebody
Thanks.
needs.
I
Yeah, man.
appreciate it.
Somebody needs to hear it. You know what I mean? And it might not reach the masses at that particular time, but once you plant that seed, because
Yeah.
a lot of us aspire to be great, in whatever it is we do. A lot of us aspire to change the world or save the world or make a difference in the world, and
That's it.
and a lot of times we attribute that to the skill that we do it on. So there's already a Buju Banton, there's already a Barry Salmon, there's already a Michael Jackson, there's already all these iconic figures. But if you can reach one person and make a positive difference within that one person, their life,
Mm-hmm.
then hence you've made a positive difference within the world.
That's it.
So the process has already begun because if you can draw the attention of from the early days, your family member, them and out of your sibling, them and you alone take on the road. And then when you're deep on the road now, you have man when you know you're from nowhere, carry you go studio. And then one engineer give you your name and then the next engineer
It's a
decides.
journey, right? It's
Yeah,
a
man.
journey.
So at the end
It's
of
an
the day,
amazing journey.
you see where I'm
And you
going
know
with it.
what? It's a blessing. And we have to
Exactly.
show gratitude. It's a must. We
Exactly.
have to
Exactly.
remember where we are coming from. I want to shout out to Juta Rhyme as well. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I want to shout out to Lazim Studio as well on the West End. I want to shout out to Mojo Herb as well. Bless up yourself, Mojo Herb. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to bless up Empress Mindnet too. I want to shout out to my daughter as well. And to the entire universe. And as I said,
Exactly.
every day above earth is definitely a blessing. And we
Exactly.
all need to show gratitude because even if the glass is not full, it's still half full. You understand?
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
gratitude is always a must.
Exactly. So how often are you recording? What's your next move? What do you have out now that the public can find and get their hands on?
Actually, the both of the tracks that you played, they're on every platform.
Okay.
Bless released Megan, but I was in studio last Friday. I
Okay.
recorded a brand new track as well
Okay.
for producer in Europe too. Actually,
Mhm.
I'm working on a beat that I'm supposed to do a collaboration with Juta Ram as well too. I got a couple tracks that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I got a couple shows coming up as well.
Okay.
I did a show last week Friday night as well in Long Island, New York. I got a show coming up in New Jersey. I got about 5 shows coming up.
Mad, mad,
So
mad, 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 mad,
I'm
mad.
just getting myself ready for them, and I still want to shout out to the public and let them know that I'm the owner of Abiona Garden of Jewelry as well. These beautiful pieces I made them
Mad.
as well. So
Mm-hmm.
please do remember to check out Abiona's Garden of Jewelry.
Well, let me put that. Let me put that. Let me put that on the. Is that like a website or? Hold
It's a
on.
website,
Okay, so give me.
Abiona's Garden of Jewelry.
Okay, so
.com.
hold on. All right, we are gonna put that on the screen right now for anybody. Cause remember, Shifty, you're depending on, for all of the man them we're in at the doghouse. Or if you don't want to go in at the doghouse, can go up on the site, man, and go buy mama something, man, and you know what I
That's
mean.
it. That's it. And
Come on,
every piece
man.
is uniquely made. Everything is uniquely made.
So is that www? That's www dot.
Abiona's Abionas
Mm-hmm.
Garden
G A R D
Arden
E N. Mm-hmm.
of
O F.
jewelry.com.
Okay, well, there.
Abiona's Garden of Jewelry.com.
Okay, jewelry.com. So we're gonna put that across the screen right
Right.
now. So
And I want every one of us should be wearing copper. Copper is very essential to all of us. But because we so far away from our culture, we don't get it. But every now and then we should research and know those medicinal stuff as well. Actually, I have a face product is coming out soon as well. The face oil I'm working on. So I'll be all the way up in the system. So
Yeah, man.
remember to check on Abiona.
Well, Mama, we reach a part in our show, where no artists not really escape from, and you kind of put yourself in the equation, because sometimes we might make a one exception if like an artist is a relatively new artist, but first and foremost, remember, me listen, I remember everything. Me have elephant brain, so you tell me say, yeah, you're their own sound system from your little. You tell me you do music from your 10. You tell me you enter music as a dub plate. You do 10 dub plate a day. So right now, on the live, we want, I'm not care what song you want to use, but we need an overall settings dub plate right now on the live for everybody with there listen.
All right. All right, overall setting, tell them so the boy they over there, so them a pay the file. And them same one molesting me little child. And I come in and they dance like them bad. Overall settings, I go fling them in a body bag. Yo, the boy they over there, so them
Pull up,
pull up.
One more time.
Overall settings, I go fling them. Hey yo, ask me the light on there and the touch. No look for me face if you no text me. The boy they should have this.
Yeah. All right. You're well equipped. You passed the test. You passed the test with flying colors. I mean, it was a pleasure talking to you. It was a pleasure holding our vibes with you. I mean, I just can't wait for. I just feel like, you're in the tri-state, so me there Philly, you know what I mean. So me I go catch up on one of them show there, You know what I mean?
Please, definitely. Actually, I got a few stuff coming up down that side as well too. So I'm gonna definitely keep you posted.
Yeah, man. Do that.
On what's happening.
Do that.
I'm gonna do that. I got fashion show coming up down that side too as well.
Yeah, man.
So
do that, man.
I'll definitely keep you linked. And before I go, I just want to leave this verse of track to everyone who been doing the journey for a period of time, doing what they're doing for a period of time, and at a point sometimes they feel like they want to give up. I just want to say this to you. Can't give up, nah give up. No man, I stop trying. No. Can't give up, nah give up. No man, I stop trying. No. Give up, now they for me my light diamond in the rust. That's how me a shine. Can't give up, nah give up. No, me not stop trying. No. Give up. Now they for me my light diamond in the rust. That oh me a trying. Me not stop push. Me not stop push. Me not stop push. So I just want to tell you all on the live today, just continue to do whatever you're doing. Never give up like diamond in the rust. That's how we all are shining.
Salute,
right?
mama.
So one day, as DJ said before, we are like diamond in the rust. Yes, we are. Just never stop shining. Continue to do with consistency and persistence. You will definitely get there. Maybe not when you want to, but you will. Just have a little patience with yourself. You will.
Exactly. And the only thing we me can do for this cap off what you say is no man no know it the minute nor the hour. And a lot of times we hear that and we attribute it to the end. But it also can mean the beginning. So that means to say, whenever the opportunity should arise, just make sure you're prepared.
You're ready. So that's why we have to keep on pursuing and keep on doing it. Right now we are rehearsing and we are practicing for the bigger part of the picture. So we have to go through all of this. This is a part of the journey too.
Exactly. So. Empress, I'm also an artist, and I'm glad that you said that, because you know what I mean. We're gonna do an outro with one of my thing them, and it's touching on exactly what you just said. So bless up, and when you do the fashion show, you know what I mean, or anything where you
I'm gonna keep the link, man. I'm gonna keep the link. I got your number. I'm gonna keep the link. Blessings again. Bless up yourself, Joseph Rhyme. Every day above her, it is definitely a blessing.
Exactly.
Gratitude is a must.
Exactly. Big up the real prospect. Big up Juta. Big up Shifty. Big up everybody with the panel line.
Everyone.
Yeah, man. Big up Stacy Merm settings. You know, man.
Blessings
The young
to the
lady.
live stream again.
Yeah, man. The young lady will book you. You know, man. I say, all
Yeah,
right.
give thanks. Blessings to her. I'm going to get in touch with her as well and shout her to her.
All right, then. Bless her.
All right.
See that one, you know, it name, who knows?
I'm used to hearing it's a matter of time before anything I'm hoping for is sure to be mine. And I do believe it, and I get to receive it as I keep these words in my mind each and every time. Just prepare for it. Just prepare for it. Who knows it could happen tonight, and it could happen to knows. But who really knows? Who knows? But who really knows? Death sneaks upon you like a thief in the night. Since we're not sure if it's arrival, we gotta live right, though we might get distracted by the things that are sight. We can't go blindly when we enter the light. Before we enter the light, just prepare for it. Just prepare for it. Who knows it could happen tonight, and it could happen to knows. But who really knows? Who knows? But who really knows?